Friends, my name is Apparao, working as Associate Professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department at Marri Institute of Technology and Management, Dundigal, Hyderabad, Telangana State. So in this video lecture, I want to discuss about domain routing protocols, which is available in Advanced Computer Networks course. So now, Advanced Computer Course Networks, course objectives, course outcomes, that is understanding, ability to design. So I have discussed in my previous session. So now this is the module 1. So in this, domain routing protocols just I want to discuss in the module 1. So these are the textbooks I followed: Computer Networking, Computer Networks and Internets. So reference books: Practical Guide to Advanced Networking and Computer Networks, Tenenbaum. So in this video lecture, I have taken the content from tutorialspoint.com and Geeks for Geeks organization as of reference. So now I want to discuss about domain routing protocols. Actually, before going to discuss about domain routing protocol, so actually what is a routing? The process of determining a path for traffic inside a network or across different network is known as routing. Suppose for example, so if you want to exchange the information from one device to another device, so there must be one transmission media, right, in between these two devices. So while communicating or else while exchanging the data, so there may be a chance of large amount of data flow will be occurred, right? So that is called traffic inside a network. Suppose let's consider this is a network, so connected to some stations. So now determining a path for traffic inside a network or across different networks is known as a routing. So very crude example, so this is LAN, this is WAN and this is MAN. So now, so information may be exchanged between LAN to MAN to WAN, so or else WAN to MAN to LAN, right? So within the network we can exchange the data, or else if it is a different network also we can exchange the data. So now across different network is known as the routing. Routing occurs in a wide range of networks, including circuit switched networks like the public switched network, telephone network and computer networks like the internet. So wherever the network, so obviously we can exchange the data. Routing is the high level decision making in packet switching networks. As we know that in the computer networks, that sends network packets from their source to their destination. So obviously source to destination, so based on the IP addresses or else MAC addresses, there are different types of addresses for sending and receiving the messages or else exchanging the information. So through intermediate network nodes using particular packet forwarding techniques. So obviously, so if it is a network, so packets will be exchanged, right? Now, the passage of network packets from one network interface to another is known as a packet forwarding. Suppose for example, I have a network 1 and I have another network 2. So in between this we can exchange the data. So now in the form of packets, right? Packet 1 and packet 2. Interface to another is known as packet forwarding. For example, I want to pass the or else exchange the information this network to this network. So obviously, so in the form of packets. So this is passage of network packets from one network interface to another is known as the packet forwarding. So obviously, so there must be a one media. So who is going to take care about this media? And obviously routers and gateways and other network hardware devices are so common intermediate nodes. So on the basis of interaction of domains, the routing protocols can be either inter-domain or intra-domain. So there are two different types of domains. So first one is inter-domain and intra-domain. These are the main two domains which is available in domain routing protocols. So now see, intra-domain I want to discuss. So what is intra-domain routing? Now all routers inside a domain utilize an intra-domain routing protocol to share routing information about the destinations that are accessible within the domain. Suppose all routers inside a domain utilize an domain. Suppose for example I have a network 1. So this is network 1 and network 2. Suppose we can exchange the data from network 1 to network 2. This is one way of interchanging. So or else within the network 1 we can exchange the data by using different types of devices and by using intermediate hardware components, right? So inside a domain, utilize an intra-domain routing protocol to share routing information about the destination that are accessible with the domain. Suppose for example, this is domain 1 and domain 2. So within the domain network, so obviously we can exchange the data. So there are a number of intra-domain routing protocol to choose from. So obviously different types of routing protocols, especially in intra-domain. The distance vector protocol called RIP is used for several domains. Now, other domains utilize OSPF and ECs, which are link state routing protocols. These are the main three protocols we use in intra-domain routing protocols. So we know about distance vector protocol, right? Now see, intra-domain routing method often have two goals. So obviously for this we have a two goals. They begin by distributing routing information that corresponds to the shortest path between two domain routers. Second one is they must enable routers to recover rapidly from link and router failures. So obviously methods often have two goals for intra-domain. Suppose age-old story, exchanging the information. So shortest path it will check first. Suppose for example A, B, C, D. So these are the devices. So now so if you want to exchange the information from A to C, so it will check which one is shortest or else which one is longest. So obviously the main goal of this intra-domain is it checks the shortest path, and so if there any packet miss in between this A to D, so source and destination, then and there itself it will be recover. So rapidly we can call it as link and router failures. Now what is inter-domain? So an inter-domain routing protocol's goal is to distribute routing information between domains. So previously different domains, so that is in intra-domain. So now different domains within the different networks we can pass the information or else we can exchange the information. An inter-domain routing protocol must distribute aggregated routing information for scalability consideration, and each domain is treated as a black box. Now see, just we want to discuss difference between inter-domain and intra-domain. So the following table highlights the major differences between inter-domain and intra-domain routing protocols. Here definition, information required, protocols used, prerequisites for inter-domain and intra-domain. So last one is complex and dependent. So we discuss. First definition is that inter-domain routing, as name suggests, is the protocol in which the routing algorithm works within and in between the domains. Inter-domain in the sense obviously, so with different domains we can exchange the information. Now intra-domain routing is protocol in which the routing algorithm works only within the domains. Information required. In case of inter-domain routing, the interaction is across various domains, so it requires information of components of other domains. So obviously information is required for exchanging the or else exchanging or sending the by using different types of domains. Intra-domain routing has to interact with the domains, so it requires the information of only those components which are within the domain. Suppose for example I have a domain, so in that so we have a different types of devices. So within the devices we can exchange the information, but each and every device information must be known to the domain. So that is intra-domain. So if it is a information, so different information required from different domains, different networks, that is different story from inter-domain. Now protocols used. Intermediate routing, interior gateway protocols such as RIP, resource information as we know, and OSPF, open shortest path protocols will be used in inter-domain. Now, so in this intra-domain routing, additional exterior gateway protocols such as BGP, border gateway protocols is used. Now, prerequisites, internet connectivity should be available, age old story, both within the domain and in the domain with which the interaction is taking place. Prerequisites, internet connectivity should be available within the domain and during the transmission. So now complex and dependent. Inter-domain routing is more complex and more dependent as compared to intra-domain routing. So why? Because two different domains. So exchanging the information means we have to interact with the other domain from source domain to destination domain. That's the reason dependent as compared to intra-routing. Now intra-domain routing is less complex and less interdependent than inter-domain routing. Thank you for watching this video.